show, and I'm super duper 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 excited to share with you this episode's guest, because this episode's guest is a dear friend of mine, a sister from another mister. Her name is Sarah Ann Lucas, but we all know her as Bird, right? That's how she loves people to know her. So when you really get to know her, you can get to call her Bird as well, right? So let me tell you a little bit about her. So she is a prolific writer. Every time I'm speaking to her, what you do is write a notebook, right? And she is a crazy, hilarious, dynamic radio presenter. You're going to get to feel her energy soon, right? And she's also an amazing businesswoman. There's so many other things I could put onto that list, but I want to share with you some of the highlights, some of the achievements that this amazing soul has achieved already thus far, why I wanted to bring her to share her with you guys, right? So first and foremost, she's the founder of a business called Beautiful Brave Body. She'll talk about that in a second. On top of that, she's been running a weekly radio show, like I mentioned, but one of the things is it's a weekly radio show and she's been running it for 4 years, right? That takes persistence, dedication to a community, and that's exactly what she's about. On top of that, she's not, like I said, she's an author, right? But I said she's prolific. So her book, Seeking the Wisdom of Women, I want you to understand, this is a 5-book series, and I'm sure there's like more and more to come. Now, to me, also, the other bit is this. I've always seen Bird as like health, energy, and top of everything that she does for women. And her business has a team in the esports race. So you guys that don't know what esports is, Google it, right? One of the biggest virtual platforms, esports, extreme sports. This is who she is, right? Get ready for the energy. And then also on top of that, very dear to us at the Harry Singha Foundation, she is a resident speaker at our youth leadership summits, and also she already is one of the named speakers at this year's virtual youth leadership summit, and on top of that, our women's empowerment summit. I'll give you all the details for that later. But also, very dear to my heart, she is a mother of 3 inspirational souls, and very dear to her, and I know that's what drives her. But here is what her real drive is. Her main drive, her main passion, her mission is inspiring women to unapologetically. So I've put it here, right? To unapologetically fearless. What is this? What's the first word? Oh, there you go. I couldn't see it on top of the thing. Making women unapologetically fearless. So without further ado, let's bring Bird on. Bird, you there?
I am. Hello.
Awesome. Great to see you, right? And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're probably there in the corner somewhere writing some books somewhere. But what I want to do is this. I want to make... Oh, there you go, right? So I want to make sure that I've given people that flavor, but I'll give them the backstory, give them the journey, give them like, who is Bird? How did she get to doing these things? And, the esports and... everything that you're doing with the book. So give them a little bit of the backstory.
Hello, my friend. I haven't even said hello yet, have I? Who am I? Okay, I was a registered nurse for 12 years. I was a sister in A&E for years and years. Have 3 children. One of my children's autistic, so needed mum at home. Had a beautiful second marriage, but it was failing. Then that failed completely, so I have 2 ex-husbands, which is hilarious, and I love to write about, not about them obviously, but experiences the suffering that happened in all of that time in your life. 3 children, needed mum at home, stopped everything, knew that once I got Jack sorted that I needed to do something for myself, so went and did dance style aerobics because I wanted to look like Madonna with a mic and do it. I know, I'm serious. And then went on to do personal training and Pilates. And I don't know if you've ever done this, Harry, but I wanted to do every course physically possible because I didn't believe that I didn't know enough. That's probably the skill. So I was spending all this money on all these courses and still never doing what I was being taught to do or knew what I needed to do. And then just carried on from there. Women came to me. I thought men would come to me. I thought I would magnetize men because I did Ironman, I did marathons and endurance, and that's heavily dominant in male, but it wasn't. Women came to me saying, Bird, I want to run a marathon, or I want to run a 10K. I've already entered it, but I can't run. I can't even run for a minute. And then as soon as I started to speak to these women, it was very obvious. It was never about the fitness. It was something greater than that. And I know that you hear this all the time, but women always say to me, I'm never enough. And really, that's a mirror of what they believe, not necessarily what other people are saying to them.
Yeah.
So then I started a women's empowerment business. Then we did fitness. And here we are today, where it was called Bird and a Bike, but now we changed it to a new business called Beautiful Brave Body that is completely virtual. I have gone into business with my daughter, who's now 23, my goodness, and I'm moving to Rwanda.
Yes, we'll get on to Rwanda and what's next and when it's all coming. So what are the key parts for you where, you, like you said, you started on that journey of doing the training and then women were coming to you and what are the key parts? So I want people to get that flavour. What are the key parts in your journey where you decided, right, look, this is what I want to do, this is how I do it, and then also how then you got into writing as well, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what you're actually doing there. So go ahead.
It's really simple to me. The biggest thing I see missing from people is they really have this passion. They want to go and do something. They've got these dreams. It's not that people aren't creative. It's not that women aren't creative, but they just talk about it and they don't go and do. And I'm really honest, and I love to poke the bear with you, and I love to say to people, I love you, but that's not true, because if you really wanted to do it, regardless, no matter what, you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not going to hold you in that space and go, oh, okay, and nurture you. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to help you and support you and guide you and love you, but you have to go and do it. And that's why I'll go back to making you unapologetically fearless, because you don't have the skills. You won't have the confidence. You literally have to go and do. And then on that journey of doing, the confidence will come, the skills will come, but you have to literally jump. End of.
100%. And I love it that you mentioned, like, when you mentioned your kids and so on, and I think they've given you that element of becoming unapologetically fearless, because you've had to overcome all of the things that you've experienced. And when you come and speak and share at the Youth Leadership Summits, we know what we're bringing to those young people. We're bringing a ball of energy, right? An absolute fireball of energy. And then, you inspire them with simple truths no matter where people are at. So give people a flavour of like what you're doing, like the women that you're working with, something about the esports, and then, definitely let us know about the books and what's in those as well.
Oh, my days. Well, let's go to esports, because that's really fresh at the minute. And that is something that, by the way, I wasn't looking to do at all. And this is a crazy thing. So if you're a cyclist, if you are into fitness at all, you'll know that esports is one of the biggest platforms globally, especially in this pandemic, virtually now. I'm online, I'm in a game. So literally it's a game, as if I was on a PS5 or PS4. I'm on a gaming platform as well with Discord. I don't know if you've heard of Discord, but it's a great voice channel. And it's just crazy. All the gamers are using it. So when I'm talking to my son about, I'm going onto Discord, they think I'm amazing, because I'm like this. Wow, Mum, you're awesome. I'm like, yes, I am. Thank you. I've got no idea what I'm doing, by the way. So I got approached by somebody in Canada. And they said, we see that you're on Zwift, and that's a cycling platform. And we'd really like you to join our race team. I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to keep fit. I just want to be doing this, because at the minute, going outside, it was being really hard to cycle outside. One, the weather in the UK has been horrific. Two, we weren't allowed to go out in groups or anything. So really, where you're used to socialising in groups, that's been stolen, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, okay. And then I thought about it. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do it. Let's just see and let's have a feel about it. And then there I am, not knowing how to do anything, by the way, not knowing how the IT of it was, the the technology of it. I had to get onto it. It was all these different levels. It was very complicated. And then all of a sudden you're there and you're in an avatar. So I've got this avatar and I'm riding with women who are in New Zealand, who are in Canada, who are in America, who are in the UK. One woman's in the UK, she's an hour and a half down the road from me. And all of a sudden, we've got this team riding. And they're called Live by Cycling, who are amazing, who were riding women over the age of 50. And they were building this online team. And as it worked out, it just didn't work out between us all. I don't know why. It's just, sometimes the leaderships cross over and actually it's like, actually this doesn't fit well for me. So I don't spend too much time there. I really acknowledge how I feel. And I would say that's one of the biggest things. If it feel right, if you don't,
Yeah.
And then we try and make every excuse and we try not to listen to that. That's nonsense. Don't waste your time there. I honour the people that are there, and it wasn't personal to them. It was personal to me. It didn't fit for me. So it was like, actually, I'm not going to do this anymore. Of course, once I've said no, then a couple of people have gone, well, if you're not going to do it, then I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, wow. They said, should we not just do something just for, the three of us? So I said, well, okay. They said, what should we call it? I said, BBB, beautiful, brave body. They're like, yeah, that will do. And literally it's that will do. Oh yeah, let's do that. All of a sudden, I've got 8 women now racing in this team. We are racing. We are so strong, so connected together, so riding for each other, so honest about how we feel in the moment. We're not going, oh, I'm really strong and you're not feeling strong. You have to be honest in the team in the moment. I mean, my goodness, it literally is a model of life. And there we are. I promise you, competing in the top league in the world with Olympians, and there are us, these normal women going, hello, and we just, Harry, we've got this magic. I don't know what it is. I promise you, if I could bottle it, well, actually, I do know. It's honesty. It's in the moment. It's turning up for the accountability of somebody else. It's training silly hard, going deeper than you would have gone just for yourself because somebody else is relying on you. I mean,
I know what what you guys have got. You're unapologetically fearless. That's it.
For sure.
That's it.
I'm not sorry about it at all. We are literally fearless, and we don't know the pathway. We're just okay. Yeah, let's go for it.
This is the thing. I always when I hear people talk about fearless, I see people use that as a gimmicky thing, and then there are people like yourself where authentically fearless comes across as you guys have the fear but you do it anyway. That's the key bit. It's knowing it's there and then just walking through it, and then when you get to the other side you're like, what fear? Then a new fear comes along and you walk through that one, and then there's another one and there's another one, and like you say, so it's I must giggle because when I remember when you said BBB, I was like, what was BBB? I thought that's birds bed and breakfast, and then I realised that you made it something very different.
No.
But so then now talk a little bit about the books. I mean, when it came to, I remember when you were first writing your book, I remember it was like, write this book, and then all of a sudden now, like roll on like 3, 4, 5 years later, it's like you're always writing. So give us a bit about that.
Well, if I'm going to say I'm a writer, I have to write. And not all of it should be published either, because most of it is nonsense. It really, really is. And if you think that I'm this angel writer, that I sit here and God just conduits through me, and it's like this spiritual moment, for all I can say to you is for me, that's not the experience I have of writing. I sit here crying. I sit here literally every day going, but this seeking the wisdom of woman came to me in the moment. So imagine this. News, my daughter, who is called Olivia, but we always call her News. Her eldest brother couldn't say her name, so News is what she's been with for the last 23 years. She's this ball of energy. She was 20. Her boyfriend dumped her for somebody else. He had her, this girl sat in the rings. I know. She came to me crying, heartbroken. If you've ever had heartbreak, and I would imagine every person on this planet has, it's the worst pain. I don't care if it's a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. I don't care who the relationship is. Heartbreak is the worst pain. And there she is sitting there, Harry. And I'm like, I want to take this pain away from you, but it's not my job to fix you. And that is really hard to sit there. And somebody yesterday, I went to a birthday luncheon, and somebody said to me, I've got clients and I really want to fix them, and I take on their energy. And I'm like, it's not your job to do that. It's not your job to fix people. It was my job as her mum to sit there with her, not even holding her, just being there with her. That was my job, to be available, to sit there, not even to go, don't worry, and we've all done this, there's plenty more fish in the sea. Nonsense. Don't say these things. Don't fill a gap. Yeah. My radio show taught me not to fill gaps. Allow space for people to think and then carry on. We always want to keep filling the space. Don't do that. That's the biggest skill. Don't fill the space. So anyway, we're sitting there, and as she's sitting there telling me about her heartbreak, and you'll probably go, oh, Bert, I can't believe you were like that. I'm thinking, oh, was I like that? We always reflect back within. Was I like that? Is what matters to News now matter to me? And was I like that in my 20s? And now I'm in my 50s. What's the difference? And I thought, wow, I really want to know. I want to seek that. Does what matter to you now matter back then, and vice versa? So literally in that moment of News pouring out her heart, this 5-book series of Seeking the Wisdom of Woman came about, because how do I find love again? And in that moment, I just met my partner now. This was 4 years ago. And it was really hard, because you know me, I'd been single for 7 years and really fulfilled. By the way, totally fulfilled. I was like this. Yes, not that I don't need a man. That wasn't my narrative. But just, I wasn't seeking. And maybe that big sign on my forehead telling people to go away, I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't feel it. You kept on saying to me all the time, what are you doing? But I just thought, okay, so what am I seeking? How do I find love again? And that's where I thought, I know, I'm going to ask, not my friends, not my family, because as though you were brutally honest, you would also protect me as well. I wanted to hear from women. I wanted to hear from women of all the decades. And in that moment, sitting with News, and I'm gonna be really brutally honest, and I've just written the first line in the preface of Seeking the Wisdom of the 20-year-old woman. I say, forgive me, my child, for I have sinned, because I really didn't honour what a 20-year-old woman had in wisdom. I didn't honour you, and for that I am so seeking forgiveness from you, because it's like, oh, wow, you do have wisdom. You actually do. You don't have to have had the years of suffering. You already sit on it. So I interviewed 10 women in each decade, asking them the same 21 questions. So I've just finished the 20 decade, so women between 20 to their 30. Yeah. And then there's going to be 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So that's the 5 books.
What a amazing.
Women. I know.
So for any of the women that are listening in, and even if there are people who serve women, that includes the guys, can you just imagine being able to get hold of the wisdom of women across those decades? Yeah. So we'll make sure we give a link and everything to the books and so on at the end. So Beth, one more thing, the radio show, right? Yes. The radio presenter, give us a little bit of flavour of what happened there and what goes on now.
Well, it's stopped now, because I should have been living in Rwanda. But we were 3 weeks away from leaving the country. Everything's packed up, ready to go. Leaving the children, taking the dog. And my other half's got a business in Rwanda, and we needed to be present there, so we were going there. And then the pandemic hit. So, here we are. It's not a problem. I can just adapt. And but the radio show had to stop. I could have done it virtually, but actually I had stopped anyway the week before. So it was like, right, well, I'm going in 3 weeks. And it didn't feel right to start. And I can't answer that. All I know is it didn't feel right to start. And I always honour that. I'm like, okay, and maybe I need a break from it as well. So 4 years, every week, different guest, an hour, all about you. I don't want to talk. I wanted to listen to you. I'm curious about why you do what you do, why you choose to rise, and other people just are happy and content or not. They just stay where they are. And I wanted to know, Harry, what you know. And I wanted to shut up, not speak, and then literally, like I said to you, just hear what you know to be true. And that was it. And it just, each week, week by week. And what I found to be true was this. I needed to have a format. I thought, I'm just going to go on. And this is it. Never had radio experience. I produced my own show. I went in and watched for about 6 months certain shows, how they did it, listened, watched in the wings, didn't get in, was watching, interviewing. And then I built that skill. Guess what? As I went along, I just thought, I've got to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do. I don't know. Yeah. And as it was, that was where my hour was. And that and writing, putting the two together is my favourite thing on the planet, to listen to you and then to write about it.
And I sense when you said that about not doing virtually, most people think radio show, yeah, virtual. But I think one of the most beautiful things about your show was, you having those people there in that studio with you, you being present, you bringing out the best in them. And, it was like I remember driving away to Kent and then suddenly coming to the studio, and it was just, you made it a great time. That was always good. And I know your listeners appreciated that. And so when it comes to your listeners and you being present, it's, you've done, like I say, you've done so much for the women in your circle, and then you took it a little bit further. Then you served the people in your radio show, and then what I want to do now is, even like when you turn up at a youth leadership summit, and even like when we do the virtual one, we always when I look at the speakers I want to bring in, I'm there's a whole host of people that want to come in, and I'm like, yeah, let's have it. Yeah, we got to bring Bird in to do that. And then everyone says, how do you decide which speakers are definite and which one? I'm because the ones who come in and bring something to give that people can use and they can take it away, and it's put in a way that's so simple yet not simplistic and profound. And this is where we move into this part where I want people to feel the gift from Bird of all the different things that you do, specifically for women, whether there's a woman watching this, listening to this, who's in some need. So when we call it Empowering Women's Show, we've always had this conversation. I have a little bit of angst with the word empowering, as if it's like someone giving people power. And I always think it's like people got their power. So with you, you'll know it straight. I want you to share something that allows women to step into their power that they already have from all of the tools that you have. Go ahead, share something, whether it's for a woman that needs to hear it, or whether it's someone that's helping women, specifically vulnerable women. What is one or two of the things that you do that you could share with the viewers?
Yeah, so for me, history always shows you the answers, always. So there's this amazing woman in America called Sojourner Truth. And this is going back, 1854? And I quote her. So she was a slave. She had 13 children. You've got to go and check her out, because she's it makes me tingle how much suffering this woman went through. And it was really simple. She said, you must go and do. Stop talking and go and do. I've got nothing else to say on that. And that is that unapologetically fearless. I'm not going to say, I'm going to say to you, yes, you've got every reason not to do it. And there's nothing else to say about that. But if you don't want to feel like this anymore, you have to go and do something.
Yeah.
And you can talk about it all you want, and you can dream about it all you want, and you can write about it, and you can do free writing. I can give you all the tips and trades and manifesting and everything, and that's awesome. And you can meditate on it, and you can do all of that. But at the end of the day, you've still got to go and do it.
Got to take that first step and then keep going.
So there are lots of things that you need to do. You need to be strong in that. You need to have a great body to be able to take you on that journey, by the way. We can talk about energy. We can talk about little tricks, trades, things like that. But you already know, as human beings, you already know how to be healthy. You already know. You already know how to go for a walk or do free writing or do little meditate. We all know we are saturated with daily rituals. Absolutely. I wrote about this in my first book. It's never about the fitness. You know, I can give you tips of, oh my gosh, ridiculous things and basic things of drinking enough water and all that. But at the end of the day, you've still got to go and do it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you've got all the strategies, you've got to get that story right, and you've got to get yourself into that thing to actually take action.
And you've got to breathe. By the way, the biggest thing is to go, let's go and do it. My books are not going to get written unless I come and sit at this desk and go through the tears and go through the impostery. I don't have imposter syndrome because I know I'm not a writer until I've written this book.
Yeah.
And I'm not a writer until I keep writing.
Yeah.
You just can't write one book and call yourself an author and then go, oh, that's me done.
Correct. But then the distinction there, Bert, is some people go for the identity of author, and you've already made a clear distinction between a writer and an author. A writer is someone that consistently, within their identity, says, I'm going to sit at my desk, I'm going to write. If I'm not doing it, then I'm not it. That's why you don't have an imposter syndrome. It's inauthentic. You know, if I, say I'm a creator, and you put it brilliantly earlier. It's like the amount of courses or programs or workshops that I've created that I've binned into my virtual psychological bin. There's more of those than the one that like everybody else sees. So yeah, totally get it. And I think I'll take from that, and for everyone that's viewing it, you've got to take action, and then take it in those steps where you said it's that genuineness, it's that authenticity. Going, look, I've taken a step. I'll keep going. And eventually, you'll get there. So beautiful.
And also build. Don't think that, for example, my esports team, we're just building it at the minute. We never thought that we would be able to even get in this top league, the Platinum League. Not only are we there, we were at the bottom, bouncing around on the bottom, by the way. Last week, we found that we weren't on the bottom. 2 teams were below us, and now, now we're starting to see what's possible. By the way, before we even started it, I had zero ability to see what's possible. So what I know to be true is this, my darling, I really say this to everybody, you've got no idea of what is possible until you start bouncing around with it and playing with it and moulding it and knowing that failed and that. But don't waste your time on trying to make what's wrong.
Yeah, and then usually that's what you're 100%. I think it's a beautiful way to bring that to quotes. Unapologetically fearless of failing, right? Because that's that bit where most people. Because as you were speaking, I was like, what could be going through people's minds about? Okay, yeah, she's saying just do it. But why am I not doing it? And it ultimately does come down to those fears. And I want to make sure that people connect with you, follow you, read your bits and pieces, because they want to. Sometimes they just need someone to be that sign that says, all right, go and do it, right? Just push them over the edge. So But even before we get to how people can follow you and stay in touch, what's next? Because I know you've talked about Rwanda. It's like the moment you told me, I was like, yeah, cool, brilliant. We've got another family member in the whole of the East Africa bits and pieces. But what's next apart from Rwanda and what's coming up next for Bird?
Well, I'm writing the 20-year-olds at the minute. So once I've finished with you here, can I just say you were the funniest person? This is Harry down to a T, right? This is just you. Most people, when you go, he'll reach out to me and go, Bird, could you do this? I'm like, yeah. I'm just going to. We're just about to go to Rwanda. Instead of him going, oh my gosh, where are you going? Why? He went, okay, right. It's normal for you to just go, okay, right, okay. Well, how can I utilise you over there? So we've got Harry going to come over and do Rwanda with us, which is nice. I've already got that going, so we've got the events manager already set up for you, sorting it all out. Can you believe it? So when you come, I'm serious. So
no, I hear you.
You're coming to Rwanda as well.
But Bert, the reason for that is I surround myself with people like you, because to other people, it's like, they go, oh, I am now going to do this. And some people are like, oh my gosh, what happened? I'm like, cool, I expect that of you. To me, exactly. It's like, what's next? Where is Bird flying to next? As far as I'm concerned, it was like brilliant. And it become like, okay, I'm always listening for how can we add value to Bird? How can we serve more people? And then it's like, oh, brilliant. A whole bunch of East Africa is going to get to experience Bird. This is brilliant. Let's go and collaborate. Let's go and do it. So, I just want to reflect that and say, the people that I bring on the show, like you, Bird, it's my life is surrounded with people who I expect that of them, and I know they expect that of me. Like if I was to say to you, oh, Bird, I'm now you're like, well, yeah, brilliant, fantastic. What do you need, right? So, but yeah, kudos to that. So, you're going to write the book, you're going to go to Rwanda, we're going to do lots of projects and stuff, and I know you're going to be on the virtual Youth Leadership Summit that's coming up this year and the Women's Empowerment one. But how now can people help or support Bird in that journey of whatever's coming and so on? Because I know it's going to be a beautiful adventure, whole new chapter, and I like to use that word, I definitely use that word, there's no, but the pun is intended. So there's a new chapter in your life. So how can people add value to you, stay connected and follow what you're up to?
Well, great question, because I am writing a script as well, a screenplay, and it's called...
I'm good with it. I'm just letting you finish.
It's called Shall I Help You Pack? And I'm writing a screenplay. So if you've got any experience, by the way, I've never written a screenplay. I was going to write it as a book. No, right. I've written it as a book. And here's the thing. I've written 37,000 words of this book. But it's not... I didn't feel that it was the right medium for you to hear what was being addressed in there. So it's really important that I deliver it to you in the way that you're going to go, oh my good Lord, it's going to be, I want you to take it like a tsunami coming at you. You're like, wow, that took my breath away. So I'm writing Shall I Help You Pack? Once I've done this series, and we're going to Rwanda next month, so I will be writing, and I'm going to be writing this screenplay as well called Shall I Help You Pack? What I really need are people around me that can support me to deliver that.
Yes, 100%. I know people that I'll send over your way. Natalie, definitely Natalie. Perfect. But there you go. Shall I Help You Pack? The screenplay. You heard it here first, right?
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Awesome. So, Bird, I know people will be able to connect with you on our summits and stuff coming up, but go ahead, share any link or anything where people can keep on with that journey.
Well, go to beautifulbravebody.com. Really simple, go on there. There's two things on there. First thing is there's a place right on the homepage. So if you've got a business and you are doing your website, I would say this to you, put on your homepage what your business is. Don't just tell me about you. I can go and have a look. I want people to share their stories. So guess what? On the front page it says, share your story. You press it, you go and share your story. I want to hear about you, and I want you to put a photo of you as well. So that's the first thing. Go onto my website, beautifulbravebody.com, and share who you are on there to be a beautiful, brave body, because that meant a lot to me. Interesting story about the whole of how that all happened as well. And then secondly, go if that isn't something you want to do and you don't want to share about you yet, because you will, then go and contact me on there, which is just a contact page, or email me, sarah@beautifulbravebody.com. Really simple.
Brilliant. And all your social media links are on the site?
All on the site. So Instagram, Beautiful Brave Body, Facebook, Beautiful Brave Body, or Sarah Ann Lucas. And do call me Bird. I don't know why everybody's gone all weird now at the minute.
We got to get that across, haven't we? Because I remember growing up in East London, if I called someone Bird, I'd probably get a slap round the head from my mum or someone, because Bird would be derogatory, like you're calling someone like like a hoe or like a chick and so on. But let people know where this bird, because you still got that ooh in you and so on. Exactly. But let people know where that came from as well, because honestly, it's like if people were just watching this or just heard me refer to, I was speaking to a bird the other day. Go ahead, please give them a little bit of a flavour. They're going to do it. Where did bird came from?
I'm from the West Country, Plymouth and Devon in the UK, and we speak like farmers. And they just call everybody Bird. So when I moved to Kent, they were like, who are you? And it's just stuck. So since I've been 21, I've been Bird. Greatest marketing tool ever, because now if you say I had Bird on the show, people go, oh my God, that's awesome. They went, I had Sarah on the show. There are many Sarahs, but there aren't many Birds. Yeah,
there was Bird on a bike, now it's Bird on a plane, and then Bird will be everywhere, and on a bookshelf near you, 100%. Right?
Exactly.
All right then, Bird. Thank you so much for bringing your energy. Thank you as always for giving time, and we'll keep people up to date what you're doing. I look forward to when we can get together and hug and go and serve even more people. So thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up. All right, brilliant. Let's bring this to a close, guys. Let's go back right here. And as you guys have just got to experience Bird's energy, if you have comments, questions, put them on the YouTube channel, put them on the Facebook groups, wherever we put this episode. But please make sure you give some feedback and share some love to Bird. Right? So on wrapping it up, as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so now. You heard what Bird said. Do it, right? So not only if you subscribe, you'll get the episodes for empowering youth, and you'll also get the episodes for empowering women. You'll see the flavour and type of the women that are coming on this show. And all the links are there for the foundation website, social media. It's the place to go if you want to add your expression of interest to join us on our virtual youth leadership summits or our virtual women's empowerment program. So that's it. I look forward to catching up with you all at another episode of Empowering Women